can remember being a kid this one time and going to a video store. It was a Ma and Pa video store, and my mum said, "Go pick a film," as she started a conversation with the lady who worked at the front counter. So I'm walking around, and without realising it, I stumbled into the adult section, because here in Australia it wasn't curtained off, where I saw a Who Framed Roger Rabbit themed adult movie called Who Reamed Rosie Rabbit. The logo was made to look like the Who Framed Roger Rabbit logo, and it had a cartoon rabbit on the cover, who looked like Roger Rabbit. And so my 5-year-old self thought that this was a legit sequel and got really excited to see this Who Framed Roger Rabbit 2. And so I grabbed the video case and took it to my mum and said, "Yes, this is the video I want to watch today." And she was like, "No, absolutely not." And even the lady who worked in the video store was like, nah mate, trust me, you don't want to watch that movie. But neither of them would tell me why. I honestly couldn't figure out why I couldn't watch this film that looked like a really cool looking Roger Rabbit sequel. Like, what's the problem here? Little did I know that I had just discovered the world of the adult film parody. We are all aware of them, and I've probably heard of a few along the way. Adult movies that aesthetically look like big mainstream movies that we all know and love, only they are parodies, with a lot of spicy tango going on. But how did this strange phenomenon come to be? How did the crazy world of these adult parodies happen? So let's explore this strange side of pop culture that many people know about, but not many people talk about. And as we try to learn more, I'm even going to talk to some people who are actually in the spicy tango parody industry, as we explore this often provocative, as well as often overlooked aspect of pop culture. So let's respectfully and tastefully do a deep dive into the strange and bizarre history of spicy tango parodies, as we explore its history and discover just where is the genre today, as well as its importance in pop culture and copyright. It may be provocative, but it will still be fascinating. So let's check it out. In order to understand the adult film parody phenomenon, we have to go all the way back to the 70s. It was a crazy, turbulent time, full of civil unrest, sugar-coated with the remnants of the free love era of the 1960s, and of course the time when these parodies started. Although it's not known entirely for sure which was the very first one, it is believed that the first adult film parody was a Batman parody called Bat Pussy. Produced in 1970, this very low-budget movie parodies the 1960s Batman TV show, where we have a female Batman who gets around on a bouncy ball? Sure, let's just go along with it. And of course there was a lot of spicy tango. And when I say the budget was low, I mean this beast was rough, featuring handheld camera work and improvised dialogue. So, who made this movie? Well, no one really knows for sure. It had an underground circulation and very quickly disappeared into the void. For the longest time, people didn't even know this movie existed. It only gained a wider awareness when the movie was discovered in a storage room of an adult theater in Memphis, Tennessee in the mid-90s. But it's believed that Bat Pussy started the adult parody subgenre, which then led to similar parodies like Snow White and the Seven Perverts. It goes without saying this was not Disney approved. However, in 1974, things got interesting, as that year saw the release of Flash Gordon, a parody of Flash Gordon, 6 years before that 1980 movie came along, which we all know and love. Flash Gordon wasn't some cheap production though. It wasn't constructed by having someone just holding a home video camera, but it was actually quite a big lavish production, especially for an adult parody. It used stop-motion animation, as well as having quite a few talented people working on board, including a very young Rick Baker who worked on the effects of the movie. Unlike anything before it, it was a lavish adult parody, with more care put into it, with the powers that be behind the production going out to make it appear like a top-quality space movie of that era. Somehow avoiding an X rating and actually managing to get an R rating, upon its release, Flash Gordon was very successful, making over $5 million on its $470,000 budget. However, something happened that would be quite pivotal in the history of adult parodies. That being a good old-fashioned copyright dispute. Buckle up, everyone. Yep, Universal Pictures, who owned the rights to the Flash Gordon character, weren't too pleased that their character that they owned had an adult movie version made of it, where according to Flash Gordon's co-director, Howard Zeem, Universal were planning on suing Flash Gordon's distributors, Graffiti Productions, over copyright infringement. However, there was a way to work around this, that being adding a text at the start of the movie, claiming it's only a parody, and not to be confused with the real Flash Gordon. Yeah, look, you see, copyright is a funny old thing, and there are no legal breach of copyright as long as it comes under parody, as parody is covered by fair use. And so Universal had no legal grounds for suing the production of Flash Gordon or getting it shut down. So this sent a precedent that adult film versions of movies can be legally made as long as they align with fair use in regards to copyright. And the only way to do that is to make it a parody. And so I guess from there it became a parody free-for-all. This is why in 1977, when the biggest movie of its time, Star Wars, came out, Star Babe also came out, which of course was also an adult parody. And as the 80s approached, so did the dawn of the video age, where this parody format could really take off and thrive, where thanks to the videotape format, these parodies could easily be filmed and distributed in bulk, where by the mid-80s, the industry was worth over $1 billion thanks to a surge in video sales, where adult filmmakers could capitalize on popular mainstream movies by making adult parody versions, becoming a very lucrative industry, and could actually often be made on a really low budget, so it was reeling in the cash. The premise was simple, but effective. Make it look like a popular movie of that time, only with more spicy tango. Lots and lots of spicy tango.
Spicy tango? We can't say adult films?
We have to say spicy tango.
But we could probably say spicy. We could probably say adult films.
I said spicy tango.
I know. But adult movie or adult spice, you can't say the other stuff. But you could say adult movies or adult films. We're adults. We're all adults here, right?
As the 2000s came, no pun intended, the industry would really continue to thrive, actually even more so, thanks to affordable digital productions which reduced distribution costs, as well as online platforms giving a rise to consumer sales. I think one of the most well-known examples of this new era of the early 2000s was the movie Pirates, an obvious parody of the Pirates of the Caribbean, which were popular movies at that time. Only Pirates didn't feature Johnny Depp, but a candlestick. It had a high-quality aesthetic, which almost made it look like a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, or be that a big Hollywood movie, and a general, high-quality, impressive production presentation. And I remember at the time a lot of people were talking about this movie, and there was a feeling of, wow, the quality and presentation of adult films have really upped their game. At the time, Pirates was very popular, and even being sold at leading DVD retailers, which, for a movie of that genre, was quite rare, especially at that time. Yep, the technology may had changed, and had now shifted to digital, but the parodies adapted with the times and were still thriving. And look, you know what? It's really easy for me to sit here and talk up a big game and act like I know what I'm talking about and that I know the industry really well, which I really don't. But how's about we get a glimpse into the Spicy Tango parodies from actual people who are part of the industry and make them? This is where we get to my good friend, actress Tabitha Stevens, and her husband, director Gary Arona.
Minty, thank you. We have produced and directed dozens and dozens of adult-based parodies over the years. And a lot of the times they don't really get much respect, but what people don't realize is that these things were meant to be fun. They were meant to be laughed at. It was all about the good humor. Sometimes even a few little social statements were tossed in there just for good measure. But it was meant to be a good, fun time. And sometimes from the mainstream world, they were taking a little bit too seriously, and it was upsetting people and irritating them, which to me is completely ridiculous. We were just having a good time. They were basic. They were comedy. They were making light of wonderful movies. That was the intention. The fact that you're doing this is absolutely perfect.
So Spicy Tango parodies have been around for quite a while. I remember doing a few of them. One that really sticks out, and this was probably in the mid-1990s, was a spoof of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yes, and they had to change the title of Massacre to Masquerade, that's what it was, because you can't have Spicy Tango stuff with horror. Like, you can't combine it like that. So they had to be really careful in the titling of that movie. Great movie, lots of fun. I played the character of Sally. Wow. And then there was this time. Do you remember when The Sopranos, the TV? Yes, I was in the first. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say fill in the blanks, okay? And this was interesting because there was no script. We literally made up the dialogue while we were filming this Spicy Tango parody. Like,
you ad-libbed the whole movie?
yeah, it was so great.
She ad-libbed the whole movie.
No, everybody did.
Don't say there isn't any true talent in adult-based productions. There is.
Yeah, and it actually did very well, and it was a funny movie. Oh yes. And then there was that time I did Bob's Burgers, except it wasn't called Bob's Burgers, it was called Bob's, I can't say it. Anyway, and I played Linda. Yes. So, yeah, that is really funny. And I had to use my real, and I do, New York accent when I did that show. So sure, whatever, Mincy, let me tell ya.
That was perfect.
Actually, Gary filmed that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Well, Gary and Tabitha, it seems that you've made quite a few of these parodies. So now it'd be really cool if you showed us all what are some of these films that you guys have made.
All right, I have some of the authentic, original Blu-ray, DVD covers, the actual titles of some of the shows that we did, such as Psycho, Scarface. There's too many, you're not gonna have enough hints. Basic Instinct, Halloween. We shot this in 2 different states, right?
Yes, we did.
We were all over the map when we shot this. It was a lot of fun. Silence of the Lambs. You should see the sets that we had built for this. It was cool. This was a really excellent. For being an adult parody, that was a great one. And then finally, Friday the 13th. Now we did a lot more. This is just a small example. These are just the covers that I happen to have on hand. But I thought it'd be kind of cool that you could see that, and hopefully there's not too much glare.
And we're not turning over the covers because on the backs of these, we call them the boxes, there's a lot of spicy tangoing going on. We can't show that.
It's YouTube.
Oh my. Oh my.
Oh, okay. Another thing I wanted to mention is that we put a lot of effort into these parodies, and I know that other producers did as well. For instance, when we did the Scarface parody, we flew cast and crew to Miami, and we actually made sure that we filmed in locations that were literally right down the street from the original filming locations of Scarface. So we really paid attention and put great effort into detail and trying to create homages, parodies, that really felt like the real thing to some extent. So last little message from Tabitha and I, the adult-based parodies were meant to be fun. They weren't meant to be taken too seriously. So for those out there who were super uptight about them, just relax. It's fun.
Lots of fun. And you'll get a good laugh out of it. And, well,
Who knows what else?
who knows what else?
Well, there you have it, a glimpse into a world that myself and probably many others aren't too familiar with. I just want to point it out there that Gary and Tabitha are very kind, lovely people, as well as being very happily married. And what struck me about seeing them talk like this, as friends, is that these people who are in the industry are very real and very normal people, not cartoon caricatures like I think we tend to sometimes think people in adult parody movies tend to be. They're not these over-exaggerated cartoonish characters who are engaging in spicy tango shenanigans that we're seeing on our screens. They are indeed real people with hearts and souls and lives behind the camera. Remember, when someone yells cut and the lights go down, they will always return to their normal homes, to their normal lives. So thank you kindly to Gary and Tabitha for giving us a glimpse into this world. And so the adult parody industry has strived and thrived throughout the decades, and still seems to be going strong now. And as long as there are movies and pop cultural entertainment, we will always have the spicy tango parodies. And I think they will always be something of a fascination, even by people who don't watch them. Just knowing that they exist is fascinating. And you may not like those types of movies, and that's okay. We all have our different tastes. People are free to watch whatever they want to in the privacy of their own homes, or not watch. As long as it's legal, it's none of my business. But I think the fact that this world is out there and exists is worthy of constructive discussion and talking about it, and seeing the world view of people who are a part of that entertainment industry. Once again, of which many people may not be familiar with. It's kind of an eye-opener. So I guess to conclude, whether you like it or not, the adult parody genre of films is here, and by the looks of things, it's here to stay. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this insightful journey down this very interesting rabbit hole, and maybe even gained some awareness of a side of pop culture that doesn't often get publicly spoken about, but one that definitely does exist. Sebi's saying yes, it exists. A big thank you to both Gary and Tabitha for taking part in this video and generously giving us a glimpse into their world. Anyway, I'm Minty, and adult film parodies are a weird tale of pop culture.
And Minty, you know that I can't forget. Give Sebi a little hug for me. Mwah!
Right you are, Tabitha. Right you are. Sebi. He's a big softie.